everyone. Kelly Donahue-Piro here for another recap of the last full week of February, if you can believe it. So that's 2 months down. Hopefully you're all on track to hit your ridiculously amazing goals. I like to think of Friday as Friday. I've always enjoyed a good Friday. So what better way to do that than to mash up our 4 videos from the week? And this is kind of a diverse topic. I have my little notes here in case you're wondering why I'm checking over because I can't remember all the things anymore. First of all, we have commercial download. Big debate. Some agencies are doing it great. Some are on the struggle bus. If you're on the struggle bus, I urge you to listen to this video and see if you can get back on the non-struggle bus. We now talk about using a line to get people off of walk-in cash and other payment forms that are just not efficient for agencies, which is to tell people you're paying too much for your insurance. And I know that might sound risky or dicey, but if you walked into my agency and I said, hey, I just looked at your account, you're actually paying too much for your insurance. That gets people's attention, and then you can follow it up with a bit more conversation. Next, we talk of something that every insurance agency I get to work with has a problem with, which is documentation. So many people are good, bad, and different. Some write novels, some write tweets, some use abbreviations that no one understands. So we need to get better at documentation and have a routine and rhythm for it, because it is honestly one of the biggest time sucks in an agency is having to look around to find files. And we don't have time for that. We have got better uses of our time, more importantly. And the last one is, I got challenged this week with a client that says, hey, you're talking about attitude. How do you stay positive? He says, I've never seen you negative. Now, my husband would be laughing in the corner on that one. But I go over my tips on how I really try to keep a positive outlook. Some things like, will it matter in a year? My Dorito habit, other things. But if you're struggling with positivity, I really truly believe it's a choice, number one, and you have to make that choice every single day. So without further ado, let's dive into our videos. And I'm gonna do a little recap on each one so that you get a taste of what I was feeling during that video. So commercial downloads have plagued the industry, right? There's some agencies that love them, some that don't. My personal stance, as you'll hear in this video, is even if we can automate 80%, it's worth it. For the account managers kicking and screaming on it, a lot of times it's releasing that control and going into something that you don't understand completely because you gotta turn it on first. And that leaves us in a really wobbly area. Personal lines had the same plight, and honestly, the personal lines download also has challenges. Personal lines, though, has learned to work around it because of the transactions on the policy. Watch why we believe you should really consider commercial download and not shy away from it, even if it feels unstable or sticky, but instead you need to put your head down and learn and become good at it. It's not a light switch. You don't turn it on and it's magical. And for many agencies, it requires a redoing of your workflow, which is overwhelming. So take a moment, watch this, watch it with your team, and see if you want to reconsider commercial download. So I want to talk today about commercial download. And I know for many agencies, this is a sticky subject. There's a lot of account managers that don't want commercial download in their books of business. And there's a lot of agencies that don't totally understand it. And I get it. It's not the prettiest of scenarios. But when we run around talking about how little time we have to find more creative ways to get things to work, not just reject them because they might be hard, difficult, or honestly, we haven't done the research to really understand it. If you want to evoke commercial lines downloads in your agency, you have to believe in the mentality that we're going to automate 80% of it and 20% we're still going to have to work through. And by the way, this is no different than in personal lines. And if you could imagine not having download in personal lines, keep that in mind as you're going through this process. Commercial lines download tends to be tricky because for many agencies, they're not sure who to put in charge of this task. We like to have a committee or a third party, even an intern that can come in and help. I know that might sound crazy, but the reality of the situation is you need someone that can take an objective look. This is coming in this way. This is how it works. Let's take one at a time. Test the process before releasing it. But for many account managers, when you put it on their plate, it's just another thing for them to figure out. And they're going to look at it for all the holes, not champion all the reasons why it could be amazing. You also want to start with your smallest book of business. So many agencies turn it on their largest book and things get crazy pretty quick. You also have to challenge your workflows through the process. It's a great time to rehash them. But my message to you is if you're struggling or considering commercial download, is it might need to start with your processes and procedures, and you may need to understand that it's not going to happen overnight, that you might have to take one at a time, get it up and running, get that airplane up in the sky, and then go after the next one. But I also want to tell you that we don't have the luxury of time in insurance anymore, and this is one of those time-saving strategies. And by the way, commercial download will continue to improve, not get worse. If you remember going back to personal lines, it wasn't pretty in the beginning either, and it's still sometimes not. But the idea is we make it work and we work through it. And once you build trust in the system, it becomes easier. But trust only happens with repetition and total use of the system. Consider commercial downloads, especially if your team's talking about how busy they are. Do we want them busy inputting policy data, or would we like them busy helping and serving our client? That message and that choice is really up to you. I know for some of you listening, you kind of look down on agencies that have walk-in cash payers, et cetera. But for a lot of agencies, the hard part is they may have acquired books of business, or in some states, you have to accept all forms of payment. So I want to give you our best strategy on how to overcome this, because it's a big deal. And I want to say this to say, hey, the more we can limit it, the better off we can use our time to make renewal review calls, follow up on sales, cross-sell. And our strategy is simple. Tell people they're paying too much for their insurance, because generally they are. Watch how we handle it and more in this video. Hi, everyone. I want to go deeper into a topic we talked about a few months ago that got a lot of traction, which is the idea of how do we reduce inbound cash payments and call-in payments in general, because there are much less labor-intensive ways of taking payments. And the idea is if we can level up your team's time, they have more time to do things like make outbound calls to renewals or spend time cross-selling. So the shift of time management in insurance agencies has to move from what are the jobs that we can keep reducing so that we can do the better stuff. So we did one on the idea that if you take a walk-in payment, say it takes 15 minutes by the time you do the greeting, the socialization, the transaction, the person leaves, that's 3 hours a year. So what we want to do is back that up today with a little bit more. We want to tell you exactly how to have that conversation to get someone off of EFT or someone onto EFT. What I want you to do right now is think in your head the client that's just going to give you the biggest hard time. And I say this because it doesn't matter how hard of a time they give you, this is a great person to practice on. Because even if they say no, the next person that's going to come in is going to be a breeze. So what I want you to do is think, hey, someone comes in to make their payment or calls in. Every single time we need to have a conversation with them about their payment options. Just because you said it last time doesn't mean that it's enough. When they know you're serious about it, they're going to take it more seriously. So if somebody came up to my desk, I'd say, hey, I'm taking a look at this. Do you know that you're overpaying for your insurance? Drop it down just like that, stone cold face, because I want to create a pocket for them to have interest into what's going on. Now you meet the person, what are you talking about? Well, the carrier that you're with is actually charging you a fee to go ahead and pay this way. Where if we get you on pay in full or electronic payments, they're going to actually save you money. This is $72 a policy. You have 2 policies with us. So that's over $140 a year I can save you right now. And then I want you to zip it, be quiet, don't say another word. I don't want to get on EFT. I don't want people in my bank accounts, right? Again, the nastiest person you can find. Well, we can actually pick the day it comes out, or you could pay in full and you can pay by check and it's just the same way, but we can save you $140 today. Zip it. No, I'm not interested. I understand. I just wanted, so you want to pay more for your insurance than you have to.
EFT is very safe today, and we can even pick the day it comes out of your bank account. Are you sure it's not something you want to reconsider? No, I like coming in here and seeing you and eating all your candy on the candy dish. Trust me, I could have a whole 3-minute video on why you shouldn't have a candy dish in your office. I might do that soon. Well, in the event that there's a national pandemic going on and we're really trying to reduce cash just for safety concerns, would you consider coming in with a money order or check instead? I could do that. Then at least we're saving that time that we can on going to the bank account and the deposits and all these other things. People have to get money orders for other reasons. So then I would give them a flyer that said, here's the savings, here's how you could do it. Or you could even call the carrier so that in the event you can't get here in time, there's the option. And you want to keep giving people options. Next time the person came in, I'd say, hey, I know we're going to talk about this again. Have you reconsidered? Have you thought about it? And thank you so much for bringing in a money order. That really helps us out. But the bottom line is you need to have a consistent effort to reduce it. And when you're reshopping someone or having new business, there shouldn't be an option to pay, in any other way than EFT or pay in full. And that's our 3-minute training tip today. It helps save your agency time, have safety protocols in your agency. But also remember, the idea is that just because we think that's the way a client wants to pay doesn't always mean that it's the best for the business, and doesn't always mean that it's profitable for us. I know it's really hard. These people become your friends and they become close, but we always need to be doing our job to reduce it so that we can focus on other things too. That's our tip. Have a great day. Are you an insurance agency with over 10 people in your small commercial and personal lines departments? Do you love our videos, podcasts, and content? If so, we heart you. We love you, love you, love you for that. We're pleased to announce our Agency Performance Program. It's a 2-year program that gives your agency a butt kicking. No, we're here to make you ridiculously amazing, but you gotta get serious about it. We're going to give you a plan for your agency with the support of my entire team and me, Kelly Donahue-Pira, as your coach for your agency, one and only. We'll start with an assessment of the agency and then get key metrics so we can be working on them. We'll launch your team efficiency and start a time management program. Then we're going to go into renewal review calls and install a sales process. You're going to get all of our process templates along the way and access to me as we hit any road bumps, speed blocks, etc. We're only taking 20 clients into this great program this year. So if you're interested, hop on right now. But it is only open to agencies with over 10 people that focus in personal and small commercial, and just the departments. Your whole agency doesn't, but we'll be working with that department. And you get unlimited attention from me. Who wouldn't want that, right? Maybe you do, but maybe the team doesn't. I don't know. Hopefully we get it all going. Reach out today so that you can secure your spot, and we'll see you soon.
So insurance documentation is one of the things that we deal with at every client we walk into. It's either too much, too little. It's a very big Goldilocks situation. But the reality is that the outliers who are not documenting the way that they should are causing a huge problem for E&O purposes, time efficiency, and honestly, you can't have a good customer experience that way. So we always say we don't know who needs to hear this video, but when you hear it, if there's someone in your office that's struggling, we recommend you send it over as a friendly reminder.
So I'm going to dive into a topic that we hear at every agency we ever work with, which is frustrations around documentation in the management system. And I understand everybody might come from different backgrounds, but when you come to an agency, you have to document at that agency's standards. And honestly, poor documentation is one of those time black holes. You're searching around, you're trying to find things, it's not working well. So I really am very strong and passionate about the need for good documentation. Now, you don't need a tweet, but you don't need a book, right? You need just enough information. The acronyms have to go. Okay, not everybody understands them unless they're universal in your agency, but you're making it harder for a new person to join potentially. The bottom line is, to me, if it's not in that management system, it did not happen. And you can't use "I'm so busy" as the excuse. You're also so busy trying to remember what the heck you did on a file last year. So we all have to understand it's a huge liability if we aren't putting that information in the system. You're hurting your team because no one else can help you, or they won't want to help you because your files are a mess. 2, How do we give a great client experience if there's no notes in the file? We can't. It's impossible. 3, the next step is you are opening the agency up to a huge E&O issue. So while it might not be intuitive for some people to document, I want to start ingraining a good habit into all of my loyal followers, viewers, etc. What we should be doing is taking a deep breath, take a moment, and document on that call. It happens at Verizon, American Express, anywhere you call into, they are not getting off the call and then documenting, hoping the phone doesn't ring. They aren't taking notes on a notepad either, for that matter, which is a huge other issue. I think notepads should be banished. I don't agree with them. You know, I've made accommodations to say you can have one piece of paper, you can have a whiteboard, but notepads, especially as we just are going through a pandemic, your notepad no one else can see. If you're in multiple locations or you get sent home, gotta not use the notepads. But we should be on the phone and just say, okay, Kelly, just want to recap. We're changing out the Volkswagen for a Lexus. We're going to make this effective tomorrow. I'm going to send the auto ID cards here. Any other questions? Type, talk, headset on. No excuses on the headset either. I'm sick of hearing that too. Of, I don't like the way it feels. Get used to it. It will work and you will get used to it. And if you give it 2 weeks, you're going to not have this and writing down pieces of paper, which is also super, super not good for you. So the bottom line is documentation's not optional. It's not in there, it didn't happen. And you're literally hurting everybody. It is like the most selfish thing that you can do as an insurance agent is to not document your files. And that's our 3-minute tip today.
Those of you who have followed us for a long time know that I strongly believe in attitude. And I also strongly believe it's a choice. I also understand I have to struggle to pick that attitude most days, even though it doesn't look like it. But what I know is by picking it, my day goes better and my life is better. So it's kind of like eating healthy. We all want pizza or Doritos, but we generally are better people when we're taking care of ourselves. And taking care of your attitude and your persona and how you're feeling every day is part of that. It's part of self-care. So I walk through exactly how I stay positive, and hopefully 1 or 2 of the tips will work for you. Hey everyone, want to talk to you today about something that I kind of got stopped dead in my tracks on. I was relaunching an agency on Apex retention. So I did it a few years ago. They had some new people and the team actually wanted to go back through the training to sharpen up their cross-selling skills, which to me, that's like angels were singing from above. And so I had an awesome opportunity to work with them again. And round 2, by the way, is way more fun because we don't have to sell the idea that it's a good thing. They already know. But either way, I got asked a question because we were on the concept of attitude and how you have to have a good attitude and not every call is going to be amazing. And the team leader stopped me and said, hey, you always seem to be positive. How do you do it? And if you're watching, you might be listening and thinking, are they talking about me? If you've shown me dancing cactuses, it's you. That's all I'm going to say. And I thought about it for a second. And the answer I gave, I'll give you, but I had one other side, which I'll talk about in a second. So bad day requires Doritos, as I've talked about before. It's a necessity. I also work really hard to stay in the moment and remember that if I've had one bad client experience that, okay, well, what about all the rest of them? And what happened? What was my piece of the puzzle? Because I'm not 100% innocent. Nobody is. The next thing I generally do is I really try to focus back on either listening to a good song, walking around, shaking it off, and trying to have the perspective of, hey, that's their opinion. They're entitled to it. What do we have to do next to better communicate? Because a lot of times everything boils down to communication. The other thing that I really do is try to have perspective of, will this matter in a year? So I'm mad, I'm frustrated, I'm just, not seeing clear. So brain check. In a year, will I remember that this happened? I might remember, but does it matter in my life? Probably not. And then the last thing I do is I really think about all the people out there that I know that would love to have my problem, right? So there's some people out there that are battling cancer and illness and have lost loved ones. And if they can stay positive, what the heck is wrong with me? And I really kind of try to to pin that down and say, hey, this is not the worst thing ever. This is a teachable moment and I need to learn a lesson. But I also went back and thought more about it overnight. And so I wanted to add on a few things. If you struggle with being positive, the first thing I want to hit you square between the eyeballs with is it's your choice. It is your choice to wake up and put your 2 feet on the ground and find 3 things that you're grateful for. Like for me today, it was, my dog's here, my husband's here, the sun's out. I have a very productive schedule today, which means that, hey, people want to talk to me, or I feel like, oh, it's going to be such a busy day. You have to kind of put things into the idea of gratitude. And then the other thing I will say, which just to get a little vulnerable and personal, something I want to work on this year is, I didn't grow up with this, phenomenal childhood and things like that. And I guess that kind of has always put it in perspective for me that my expectations are not sunshine and rainbows every day, and that helps a lot. I expect that life will be challenging. I expect that I will fail. I expect that it will be hard. And I've trained my brain to say if it feels uncomfortable or feels hard, then I need to keep pushing forward, not retreating back. And that has helped me out a ton. I'm not perfect at it, but my expectations are set to that of crap's going to happen. And, in fact, if stuff isn't happening, I'm probably playing it too safe. So I wanted to give you guys a few tips if you're struggling with positivity, because you can really sour people. It can be like, she's so superly sweet. I'm like, well, I decide every day what I'm going to do. And I also understand that insurance wears people down. So if I come onto your team's training and I'm like, yeah, things are tough, rates are going up, I'm by far not helping the situation. And honestly, if you're coming into my team training, and you're doing that, you're not helping your teammates and you're not solving anything. So that's my positive pants tip today. I hope you guys have a great week and hope to talk to you soon. Well, that's it. We're done with our 3-minute video recaps for the week. Thanks so much for listening, and hopefully you're sharing this with other agents in your team. We couldn't be happier to deliver this content to you, so you're always getting a tip or trick every week that can help your agency become ridiculously amazing. If you ever have any ones you want us to cover, shoot me a line. I'm happy to put it in the lineup. But until then, have yourselves a great weekend and keep trying to be ridiculously amazing.
Is building processes and procedures top on your list to do this year? But you're overwhelmed and you don't know where to start. With so many things on your plate, how can you be ridiculously amazing at all of them? You just can't. It's not possible. Although I wish it was. And if someone has that method out there, let me know. But if there's only a template you could start with, would that change things? There is now. Our new Agency Performance Partners website has an entire section of process packs for your agency. Our process packs include not only the workbook, the templates, emails, scripts, and videos to go along with each section so that you're not alone. You can download them and tailor them exactly to your agency, but it gives you a place to start. And you get the best practices that we've developed over the course of time. What's better than that? We keep adding more every month, so you need to check in. But just to get started, we have winning back unsold quotes, setting goals for every role in your agency, 6 strategies to help you run your agency, job descriptions, a hiring guide, sales scripts, retention scripts, and personalized endorsement checklists. And more are coming all the time, so you have to be on it to check it out. Follow our social media or emails to get in on the know. Head to our website for more details. You can see each process pack and you can actually buy them right online. No need, if it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you are stressed about writing job descriptions, we got you. Also, most of them are $100 to $200, so they're very reasonable. And you get all the updates. If you're looking for something we don't have, let us know. We're happy to create it. But bottom line, if processes and procedures on your mind, we have you covered. You just have to go to our new website, go to the online store section, and you will see a whole section on agency process packs. We will see you there.